My name is Ocean. I'm from St. John's. Last time the host made a joke that I really loved. She started a sentence and had us thinking that she was going to say, "I lost my virginity to a horse." It was genius. It was all the comedy of that idea without having to actually admit that you've done something so ridiculous. I'm not so lucky, but I'm not a horse fucker, don't worry. Do you know anything about magnet condoms? The principal of my school asked me that one time. He was asking me about probably the only school prank that I can be proud of to this day without it being overridden by guilt. What I did is I took these real powerful magnets and on the front of the school, the name of the school was there in metal letters up high, right at the top of the building. So what I could do is I could put the magnets in condoms and twirl them around and hook them up there, and they would stick to the sign. That was so sick. And so, the next day we had school. I'd done that last night, and there the janitors were up on the ladders going, "It's stuck, it's stuck." I'm really sorry, but that's why he asked me that. Now, pranks outside of school have a lot less guilt associated with them. So one time my friend, he invited me over to the restaurant that he worked at, and he was real proud of me. He was introducing to all his coworkers. He was like, "This guy covered my dad's house in dildos." And I had. Last night, I was moving out on my own, and all my stuff was in suitcases at my friend's house. And in that stuff, a box, like 30 dildos, the mother load. And so we were having a touring band over to show them some hospitality for visiting St. John's. And we were like, man, it would be pretty funny to cover everything in dildos first. So we did. So dildos on the ceiling, on the microwave, on the chairs, on the walls. And they come in and they loved it. And I'm not too embarrassed to talk about that because at the time I hadn't used them in almost a year. Now I still have them. I haven't used them in years. I was buying them for a while and it was great. Then I got my first boyfriend and I didn't use them anymore. So what do you do with them other than something like that? One time I was talking to my friend about that, and he said, "Why don't you sell them all? Is there a market for that? Is there a market for used dildos?" I really wish, but I doubt it. I'm getting my balls removed soon, and I made a yeah. And I made a little game for myself. I'm back living with my parents now, and your parents, you'd think, could you do something like that, without them knowing? No way. Now it's fine if they did know. They're really cool, but wouldn't it be fun to see if I could lose them, and not even have them know? So that's what I'm gonna try to do, just to amuse myself. A day of the surgery. All right, boys, going out for a bit. Come back, man, I got kicked in the balls so bad. I better take it easy. Feels like I lost something too. Can't be that important. Stuff like that can be exhilarating. One time, I kept a lobster under my desk. Yeah, I kept a lobster under my desk. I didn't tell my grandparents who I was living with. I bought a whole aquarium setup because I really wanted to try a lobster rescue from the grocery store. I had an aquarium before, so it was it kind of made sense, but that felt so unhinged. But it was exhilarating, Lobster living under my desk, a big one, and it's my grandparents' house, and they don't even know. It was crazy. What happened to lobster? Well, you guys gotta eat. Let me. Yeah. let me tell you about the craziest thing I've ever seen. So, oh man, so keyboard duster, right? You can get cans of compressed gas for that comes out of a straw, and you blow dust out of your keyboard, out of your computer, stuff like that. But one day, we were at my friend's house and we were having some boys over, and one of us was huffing the keyboard duster. He was using it a little bit off label, and he loved it. He was like, "Oh my God, I sound like Darth Vader." He was like, "Oh, I feel like a computer. This is the best thing ever." And he was at that, he was out that for half an hour, maybe an hour, and then we were like, "Hey man, we need that. You might want to give that up. We got keyboards to clean." And he was like, and that's when it went crazy. He was like, "No, please, I just need a couple more." So we give him a couple more, and we're like, "All right, man, give it up, dude." And he's like, "No, please, don't take it away. I need this, man. I just want to sound like Darth Vader one more time." And we're like, "Dude, what's going on? Are you good, bro? You gotta stop." And he's like, "No, I can't, dude. I need the duster. I promise. I just want to sound like Darth Vader one more time." And we were like, "Dude, no, man, you gotta go." So we kick him out and we lock the door. And here's what he did. We figured it out years later how he did it. He unscrewed the window frame off of my friend's front door, and he crawled inside. So he's broken into my friend's house, and there he is, and he's got the duster. And we're like, "Dude, what the hell, man?" And so we chase him outside, and he's running running down the road. But we catch up to him, and we get the duster. And as soon as we take it away from him, he starts crying. He's beat red in the face. He's bawling his eyes out, begging to just, say goodbye to it. Just let him have one more. But no, my buddy's like, no. He throws it across the street, and it bashes on the pavement, and it starts leaking out all the gas. And he runs across traffic to get the last spurts of the duster. That was the craziest thing I've ever seen. A couple years later, that same guy, I've started femboying, right? That same guy, he calls me up on the phone, he's like, "Too far, man." He didn't like that. He was like, you'll ruin your body, dude. That's so dangerous. That shouldn't be allowed. Yeah, there's one story that, some of my friends find even crazier than that one. So, I don't know why, I think it's less. But one time, I went over to my friend's house, just looking to have a laugh. I had a couple draws, had a couple beers, and I was like, "Hey man, would it be funny if I smoked cum?" And he was like, "Yeah." So that's what I did. I had a method for doing liquids in the bong already, and I took it like a champ. No big deal. A couple days later, we were having a blaze with some boys, and we had that bong with us, and boys were talking about it. They were talking about the cum toke, but one of them was like, "Oh no, man, that's burnt by, that's rotten by. I'd never do that. Boys burn me out." But we kind of got over it. But then we bust out the video of the cum toke, right? I got it on video. I'll show you guys if you want. And he sees the video and he was like, "That was this bong." And he explodes. He's steaming from the ears. And I will get off. And he runs away. And he climbs up a tree in anger. And yeah, never saw him again. I guess, do I actually have to stop? I got more.
You're good now.
All right.
Keep it going for Ocean, everybody. All right, we are down to our last
last comic of the night. You can see this person doing the Smut Slam shows, hosting a lot of burlesque stuff. Please